Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Go Train Your Dog Today. Today's episode, we're talking about the basic needs of your dog, and probably the most important, their food. But the most important part about it is, how are you giving it to them? Did you know that your dog naturally was hunting in the wild before we domesticated them? We have to remember that. This pack, this bond that we form with our dogs, it was established through a relationship. We threw scraps out to them through hunting purposes. They understood they could get a source of food from us. We also realized, wow, dogs can hunt as well. So we started working together. That right there is the whole bond relationship. And nowadays we overlook that. And I'm here to help you today. So let's talk about your dog food, dog treats, and how your dog eats. You've seen in some of my other videos, I give recommendations of how to keep your dog busy with certain things. But today we're talking about how important it is that your dog understands where the food comes from. It comes from you. What I mean by that is, when you put your food bowl down and your dog's eating it within 2 minutes or up to 5 minutes if you're using a slow feeder, how much are you doing with your dog in that time that you could be reinforcing something? Probably not. You've probably asked your dog to sit, maybe, for the food bowl, and then you give it to them. Maybe you even ask them to wait. So it's 2 commands that you've reinforced your dog for that big bowl of food. Now, where I look at it and what I've learned from training dogs is, dogs are always learning. Dogs are always able to earn a reinforcement. And when they understand that, that's how you have a clear communication with your dog, an amazing bond. And that's what the training entails, is clearing all that up. So that's how we use food. I use it for training purposes, where I'm going to literally give my dog a piece of food out of my hand, pocket, Serenity, and I just give it to her, because that's her food, but she gets it through me. So I just started with basic hand feeding. Like I said, the original story, we would toss scraps to the wolves out in the wild. It's the same concept. You build that form, that relationship, by us providing a source to them. So you get that down first, that your dog understands, I will provide food for you. Now let's take that food and have you understand how to work for it, because dogs love to work. Every dog needs and wants a job. We have working border collies, so they are the prime example of a working dog, but every dog needs a job because it gives them fulfillment. Kind of gives them their place in this world. And the way I like to start people off teaching how to give a dog a job is teach them to listen to you. How do you do that is, you guys use their food. Don't just give them a bowl of food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Take those times to do a training session, morning, afternoon, and evening now, where you're going to get your dog to now pay attention to you and listen to you. It's the best way to train. It's positive reinforcement. It's scientifically proven. It's going to strengthen the behavior. It's going to strengthen the reinforcement of what you're doing with it. It's going to make a better relationship for you and your dog. And out of all the training I've done, besides using a toy, there's no other motivation that a dog will want to do something for besides a toy, food, or you. So if you're going to use one of those 3 things, food really helps. I use it for different parts of training. It's not all of training. And that's the next part I want to clear up for you is, we get this common thing is, I don't always want to use treats. One, that's up to you, because this is how I look at it. You all have seen how well behaved my dogs are. I will always reward them though, because they're always working. Do you work for free? Would you work for free? You can use food, like I said. It helps as a motivator. In the end, your dog understands the behavior if you finish the training process. So in the end, you can use your praise, but I like to use food in the beginning. What happens is, there's a part in the middle that we stop reinforcing the dog enough on the food aspect, where they don't respect the praise and please aspect from us. And that's where we get stuck sometimes of relying on the food, relying on the cookie, and that's where I want to clear that up for you right now. You haven't done enough repetitions. You haven't hit muscle memory yet. You have to form a habit. If you want your dog to sit, you're teaching them a behavior so they can use in life, but you want them to form a habit so you don't have to rely on the food to use with your dog to motivate them. You have to now take that time training to do enough repetitions consistently for your dog to understand it. That's why I like to use food to get the motivation to start. We train it until the dog understands how to do the behavior without food. That's the part that you have to be committed to do, and you have to understand it's a process that takes time. Every dog is different. Every dog is going to learn a little different. So when you understand that, from teaching a dog to sit, to teaching a dog to jump in my arms, or teaching a dog to jump on my back, it all comes off of the motivation of the dog, the reinforcement you use, and how long does it take for it to form a habit. We all know it's over 60-something days, let's say 66 days, for us to create like a muscle memory where we don't need to be told what to do, we understand what to do now. You now need to do that same process with training your dog. Sit's pretty easy. You guys do that probably every single day, asking your dog to sit. So through time and repetition, they understand that. But think of other behaviors. That's why I use food to help me get all these behaviors with my dog through training. By using the food as a motivator to get all different types of behaviors, because I'm practicing all of those. So for example, I'll show you really quick with Serenity. It's just pretty simple. I use their food because, one, they need it for dinner, we'll say, or they want it as a treat. So Serenity. So what I like to use about food is just getting my dog to want to do something. I can teach them something. So if I want her to go up on something, Serenity, she goes up here. I give her a reward for it. I give her a reward for it because it now is going to strengthen this behavior. If I didn't use a reward, Serenity, all done. Good girl. If I didn't use a reward in the beginning, how motivated would my dog be or want to be to come up on here? Well, they don't understand what to do. Some dogs might be nervous. That's why we use food as a motivator. We now train it, all done, with repetition, practicing this over and over, using the food as a reinforcement. Yes. We do this enough until we feel the behavior is strong enough to not rely on the food. That's the training process. That's another topic for another day. Today is just talking about food and how we use it. So let's try that. Instead of giving your dog a bowl of dinner tonight, I really want you to try to get them to listen to you. Now it's up to you what you want to teach them. If you want to practice teaching them their name or sit, that's fine. The goal is you are consistent with this process now, that you're going to do this every day. So your dog doesn't have to rely on the food. See, no food in my hand, Serenity, all done. Good girl. No food in my hand, Serenity, up. She understands how to perform a behavior. She listens to me. That's going to help you get your dog to listen to you better and improve your relationship with your dog. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Head on over to dcsdogs.com. We got some great information for you with our free home guide. Click on the link. Get your copy today. Take care, everyone.